Hello.
Howdy. How is everybody being?
Okay. Caleb, your camera is extra clean right now. Looks good.
Oh, thanks. I got some LUTs on that bitch.
Yeah.
Thanks to the Tech Supreme.
You're streaming, so you can do that. We're not streaming, so we can't.
Wait.
Unless it's...
No, I don't think I have any LUTs right now. Unless you can throw them on display capture. No, I super don't. My camera, I just look good right now. What can I say? I'm a PIMP. No one else is talking. All right, how's everybody's week?
PIMP?
Yes, because in hip-hop, sometimes you mispronounce things for the sake of rhyme. How is everybody doing? Oh, no, Tech muted himself in Discord, and that's where I was getting audio.
Me too.
Oh. Just turn your, if you're getting the volume from Cast, just turn your output volume down. So you can hear from Cast, but we can still hear you. That's what I've been doing. I had been doing.
What episode is this?
92.
Yeah, still figuring it out, guys. Still working with I didn't want to say Tech Supreme. I meant to say technical difficulties. We're still working with... See, it's hard when you got somebody on the show named Tech, because I can't say we're still working on tech. I'll stop.
Please.
Tech guy's audio ironed out. He said, please. Yeah.
It's a long day. Pretty good stream. Art stream. I tried to stream Jetlancer. Nobody gave a shit. So, my day was alright, I guess.
When did you try to stream Jetlancer?
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
Oh. I didn't even see a notification for that.
Isn't that neat? Isn't that neat how the internet works?
It's the best, huh?
Sometimes people just aren't told that you're going live.
You gotta pay for the ad placement, bud. It's not our fault. No, how's everybody's week been?
Yeah, what day is it?
Right? It's been a whole week since last time we did this, believe it or not. As time continues to just get sucked down into a void. My week's been okay. I got my XCOM review finished. It's a 10-minute review. And let me tell you, 3 to 4 minute reviews, very nice. 10-minute reviews, son of a bitch. That shit took forever.
Yeah.
But I got it. It's done. And I like it.
Okay.
And it'll be coming out tomorrow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very good.
That is finally finished. And I'm going to dive into Gears of War headstrong tomorrow. Yeah. Ben? Oh, Tech, I cut Tech off. What's up, Tech?
No, you're fine.
Okay. Ben, how's your week been?
Okay. Yeah. My Kickstarter has about 10 hours left, so that's awesome, and we're kind of bouncing around the same dollar amounts, 10,250. Some people are signing on, and some people are canceling. So,
wow,
it seems like that's where we're stuck. So that's interesting.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah,
I'll be right back.
You can return it.
Well, after it's charged, no, but it's not charged yet. It doesn't charge till it's over. So, yeah, we lost $65 37 minutes ago, but then gained 45. So,
well, I got to keep it. When people, may not have it. 30 days ago they had it or whatever, and now the deadline's getting closer. Like, oh shit. So,
or they were helping us out, and they saw that we made it, so now they're gonna.
Now they're gonna help you unmake it.
Clearly, they don't need my help. Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. Speaking of canceling shit, I found out that Parts Unknown's going to be on Netflix starting June 1st, and I just spent $75 on it, but it was within 90 days. So I said that a minor or child bought it, and they gave me my money back.
Good deal.
And now they're watching the podcast, and they're going to deny it.
Yeah. They already took the content from me and said they issued it back to the card, so it'll be a few days till it gets back.
What
on
service
the
was that?
iTunes.
It was easy. That absolute
win. It was easy. I did it in like 5 minutes. You sent that message a couple days ago, and then I was like, "Nope, I'm gonna go see if I can do this." And it was like, "Boop boop," and I just waited. And this morning, or late last night, it was like, "It's approved. We're returned it. So I was like, fuck yeah. Amanda was like, why'd you do that? And I was like, because it's going to be on Netflix. And when it leaves Netflix next time, maybe I'll buy it again. But we'll see. Tech, how's your week been, my dude?
Oh, it's been a week. It's been good. I really can't complain. I interacted with humans today, and I didn't like it.
Oh, no.
I had to get my car worked on for emissions and safety and oil change. And I get to the dealership, and they're like, hey, just pull it in. Like, I called from outside. Like, yeah, I just want to drop my keys off. And he's like, oh, yeah, just come bring it in. I was like, no, I'm trying to avoid humans. So it's like, okay, you can leave it in the mailbox. So, and I had to go pay when they were done, and I was like double masked up, so I felt pretty good about it. And my car passed all the inspections.
On a Wednesday afternoon. Fuck yeah, that's good.
That's always a good day.
Yeah, sure. I know that's a good change of pace because yesterday, or maybe even earlier today, you had a technological fucking snafu.
Dude, I was so angry.
I'm so sorry. You said you literally shouted in your office.
I screamed, and Aaron on the third floor was like, "Yeah, I heard you scream." It was a blood cry. Switched up. I added an internal hard drive to my computer, and because since I'm doing streaming now, hardcore, I'm racking up gigabytes. So I figured I needed more space. I had 15 gigs left on everything. So I when I did that, I think it threw everything off because what it was looking for in OBS wasn't there.
Sure.
So it was a whole thing. I had to pretty much uninstall everything and start over, but it made everything look better. So
yeah, good.
Yeah.
Sarge, how's your week been?
It's been pretty good. Just been working a lot. I've got my deck torn apart in the back, so I'm working on rebuilding that. So more at-home projects.
Why did your deck get torn? You said it got torn apart. Did something happen to it, or did you do it?
No, I tore it apart.
Oh, okay.
No, I tore it apart.
Just making sure something awful didn't happen that we didn't hear about.
One of the support posts sank about 4 inches into the ground, and it was a big heap in the middle of the deck. So
ooh.
I had to take it all apart because previous owners don't know what they're doing. So all these people that are going out and doing all these home projects are gonna fall to shit in about 2 years because they don't know what they're doing. I saw it on YouTube.
I mean, I built my fire pit like that, but it's just laying stones on the ground.
2 years tops.
2 years tops. 2 years tops.
Something's gonna fall apart.
Yeah, sure. Well, this is Bounty Board. If you didn't know, you're tuning in to your new favorite podcast about video games. I am your host, one of your hosts, Caleb Sawyer. Lubwub is my gamer tag. Up above me, down below me on your screen is Sketch Sawyer. Say what's up, friend.
What's up?
To his right is the one and only Tech Supreme.
Tech Supreme.
Love it, love it, love it. And just above him is Sergeant Sodium. Nothing happened. Nothing happened.
This is a podcast, man.
Nothing happened.
You gotta make noise.
No, I hit
a button.
with my sound effect.
Nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
Oh,
I heard the tick from the key. Nothing came out though.
Nope.
Oh man,
that's comedy.
It's bad. It's best when it doesn't work perfectly, right? Well, diving into our news, we had some announcements today. Unreal Engine 5, namely, got announced. But before we dig into that big old topic, a couple days ago, in fact, yesterday, we had Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 remaster revealed, coming out September 4th. The studio that remastered Crash Bandicoot 1, 2, and 3, and Crash Team Racing 1 and 2, and the first 3 Spyro games. Tackled this one. They're Activision properties, so they helped out. They're good at remastering shit and re-releasing it. And I don't know, man. I'm kind of down to play Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 again.
I mean, I think everyone played that game. Like, even if you were into skateboarding or not, you fucking had a Tony Hawk game. Yep. You played the shit out of it. It's just fun.
For the longest time, I didn't understand the nostalgia train, and then it finally got to the point where the games coming out were games I played a lot of as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, that's what this feeling is. Because me and my brothers used to sit down and play Tony Hawk 1, 2, and 3 on the PlayStation 1 in our bedroom way back in the day. And like I remember popping on that stream because I co-streamed it yesterday and hearing one of the songs and being like, yo, I think this is a fucking Tony Hawk announcement. Because the music was instantly reminiscent. I mean, that's dope.
That is dope. Now, someone
I
had a gun in my head.
recognized the era of when it was big. I remember everybody else playing it, but it didn't get me. I didn't catch the Tony Hawk craze.
Ben wasn't punk enough back then.
Yeah, I guess so.
I never picked up a skateboard in my life when I played it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I've had skateboard, but like not like that serious of a level.
Right.
Never owned a skateboard, and we still played the shit out of it because it was really just a silly goose time.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I don't think I skated for more than a day. I know I had one, and I know I bust shit on it real bad. And
Yep.
after that, I was like, well, I don't need this.
Skateboarding doesn't have training wheels. You get
Nope.
on it and you hurt yourself immediately. That's
That's
how it
my
works.
experience with a skateboard.
Yep.
It was
I was
someone else's
like-
skateboard. I tried, and I landed on my wrist. My wrist hurt for like a week. I never picked up a skateboard again. Nope, not for me.
Fuck this. I'm going home. This is all I needed to tell me no. Yeah, that's dope. I know
wish
that.
learned easy.
What's up, Sarge?
Said I wish I learned that easy.
Well, I know that like my brother Ian clearly took it to heart and became his like passion. I don't know if Tony Hawk's what did that to him or if it was something else, but he's the only person I know that I play Tony Hawk with a lot that still skateboards today. So that's a thing. Speaking of nostalgia, the Mafia trilogy was revealed in a teaser by 2K Games yesterday. That's an interesting thing because over the last few days they've been like posting single word tweets and people were kind of losing their shit because they thought Mafia 4 was coming. I don't think that this means Mafia 4 isn't coming, but Mafia 1 and 2 were like they're like a 10 and 12-year-old games and people loved them. The 360 had one, and I think the 360 had both. PS3 and 360 had both.
Yeah, I've never played one, man. That's true.
Neither have I.
Yeah.
People really liked those games, and Mafia 3 was one of those games that people told me I should play, but I never had the motivation to play. Now it looks like we're getting a trilogy that's remastered. There's going to be a formal announcement on the 14th of May or 19th of May. I do not remember.
What would make you guys play the game?
Co-op.
To me, honestly, I need to like look up how the story was received. If it's
Co-op and Game Pass.
I think the last story was talked about a lot because I think they had a black character as a main character.
yeah, and you fought
and they
the
hadn't done that
KKK,
before.
and people didn't like
so-
that, or people
Yeah.
liked it.
I bet some people loved it and some people hated it.
Probably, yeah.
And
Inside by
a few
Ben.
were indifferent.
This has been 60 minutes with Ben. 60 seconds with Ben. It'll be interesting. I heard the third one was fun, but it wasn't like GTA level quality for the open world, which like it's hard to expect that out of anything but GTA. But you know, we'll see. We'll see. To me, to answer your question, Tech, for me to want to buy it, I would need to find out how well received the first two game stories were. Because I'll get into a game if the story's dope. But if people are like, the story's okay, I probably won't fuck with it too much. I need something to keep me going because the gameplay's obviously going to be dated, right? It's a remaster, not a remake. So,
Yeah.
you know. See, Cyberpunk 2077 is introducing small little bits and pieces. Yesterday or today, they introduced the Maelstrom Gang. There's a couple of fun facts that I pulled from this that I told Ben when on his stream. So they announced the Maelstrom Gang. Their tweet itself says, Maelstrom's territory is the industrial part of Watson. Its factories, the Totentanz Club, you'll meet them there. So Totentanz is dope because it means Dance of the Dead, or Dead Dancing, in German, which I'm super down for. They're obsessed with cyber technology, and their urge to improve the weakness of human flesh is far stronger than their fear of cyber psychosis. Their logo's like a skull with a bunch of like red glowing eyes in it and then spider legs coming out of it. I dig that. Also, it's the first time Cyberpunk's talked about cyber psychosis, which Witcher had horror elements in it when you fought werewolves and hunted witches and shit like that. And if you've watched the show,
Is that what you think that terminology means? That's not where I took it.
Well, I mean, I think that the idea of people suffering from cyber psychosis or like an entire faction of people that are prone to it could lead to some pretty dark and twisted encounters with them, especially if there's sects of the gang that are, rogue and the whole group's gone psychotic. I don't know.
Yeah, I just think I just think it probably means augmenting. You can over augment yourself and you go crazy.
Yeah, that's what I got from the article.
Yeah.
It's like you do too many enhancements to yourself and you fucking lose grip on your mind.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was going with too. But if there's a whole gang of people that have complete disregard for that, I would imagine there's going to be an encounter where you run into a group of them where they're all fucking crazy.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Deus Ex had horror elements when you found people that were that praised machines too much, like the Church of the Machine God, where they were like hooking people up to computers and frying their brains, thinking they were transcending. So who fucking knows? Who fucking knows? All right, and then to move into our topic with the largest news item is one that I mentioned first. Today, Epic with the Summer Game Fest announced Unreal Engine 5 with a tech demo that was absolutely stunning, but a tech demo. You can play through it, but it's not a game. It's a tech demo, and they worked more than a year on the 5 to 6 minute demo we got. So that's cool. It looks great, but how many things are going to use that right out the gate? It's going to be a minute. Yeah. They also mentioned the talk is long. You can watch it on our stream, or you can go to the summergamefest.com and catch the VOD for it. They talked a lot about making tools easier for developers, most pointedly global lighting, which is an issue that has been something people have wanted for a long time. For people who don't know, and I won't bore you with the details, the making games look photorealistic in your engine in almost every case up until now has meant that you build everything and then you do what's called baking light into what you've done. So you make the whole environment, and then you add light sources that are there and cast light in a static environment that does not move. That way the game doesn't have to render it in real time. Global lighting is there's a light there, and then the game renders how that light reacts based on everything moving around it in real time. And engines have not been able to do that. Consoles have not been able to do that. And now, with Unreal Engine 5,
they can. They've got volumetric lighting's been around for a long time. Ray trace lighting's been around for a long time, but
consoles haven't had ray trace. So
no, but it's the only trick to bake it in. So to really nail that definition down, if you look at a wall and there's a light on the wall and there's light coming from that light, that's probably a texture that they just slapped on the wall. Right. It's not an actual light. But there's videos all the time of developers messing with volumetric lighting and real lighting. Digital Extremes had a video the other day of what's called voxel lighting. A voxel is a 3D pixel. It's a 3-dimensional pixel. So they're actually like filling the space with like, digital atoms.
Yeah,
basically.
like gas.
3-dimensional pixels, and that's like filling the room with light. Pretty interesting. What I'm really tripping over one of this first paragraphs though is talking about get a glimpse of nanite virtualized micro polygon geometry.
Yeah.
So polygons smaller than normal polygons or some shit like that. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, they were talking about using like nanite triangular surface shading and shit too, where like they're talking about like scanning in film quality assets directly into engine, so you can see the same asset in a movie that will be in the game with absolutely no trade-off in fidelity. So it's something that you see in a movie that's indistinguishable as being in the real world, being in a video game.
Well, yeah, like young Tony Stark in Civil War is a young Robert Downey Jr., right? Mm-hmm. That face is probably comprised of 300 million polygons. And you're not going to spin that on a face in a video game. It's just not feasible, right?
Yeah. And now I guess it is.
And now they're talking about it.
Yeah, and they're talking about making devs' lives easier. The new royalty system with Unreal will not call for royalties from developers using the licensed software, or I guess engine, until they've made $1 million, which is huge for indie developers.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're doing all sorts of stuff. We actually had Vagabond Dog in the chat while we were watching this, and he has been working on a game for years, and has been talking about, or had been talking about being afraid of having to switch from Unreal Engine 4 to 5. The only thing about that talk that wasn't exactly encouraging was like, when asked about that, they were like, we're going to move Fortnite into Unreal 5 when it's ready, and then we'll... it sounded like basically them saying, we're going to do it then, and then we'll tell you how it goes. Which, like, all right, we'll see. But I don't want to talk about the technicals all episode because that's obviously a topic that's way deeper than most people care about. What I want to ask you guys about is this engine is going to bring photorealism even closer to common in video games, I think. Do you guys like photorealism in your games, or do you like for them to be more artistically styled? What is your inclination? Because I know
I'll answer that first.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
I think it all depends on the game. Because obviously I want my NBA 2K to look like LeBron James, but I don't want my Apex Legends LeBron James, but I don't want my Apex Legends to look like that. I don't want my, you want your bleeding edge to have that art. You want that creativeness involved, but I also need that realism on other shit, right? Like if I'm playing a Grand Theft Auto, the more realistic the better, in my opinion. Sure. I don't want to play a cartoon in that sense, so it all depends. I think this is neat because we always, like, in our minds or in our friend conversations, we always like, what's next, because we're all old enough to know where it came from. And I think, like, this is what's next. Like this is literally like, how can they top Xbox One X, right? Or how can they top the graphics right now? And this is how.
Sure. Absolutely. I agree with you too that, like, when it comes to sports sims, when it comes to simulation games specifically, those have to be. They don't have to be. Shit.
Yes, they do.
They ought to be photorealistic, right? Because there's some sports sims that are stylized, like NBA Street. I guess you wouldn't call that a sports sim.
No, I wouldn't call that a sports sim.
Yeah, sure. So simulation games have to stick with the photorealism because you're simulating real life.
Yeah, FIFA, F1.
Yeah. But do you prefer
Forza.
in games that don't require it, right? So I'm thinking like shooters and adventure games and all those other things. I can't possibly list all of the ones that aren't sims. Do you prefer when they're realistic or when they're stylized? For instance, shooters. Like Ryan, do you play any shooters that don't look like Call of Duty or Battlefield? Have you fucked with Overwatch or any of those games? And
I mean, Apex.
Apex,
Yeah,
sure,
Apex,
sure.
Bleeding Edge.
Yeah.
Bleeding Edge.
I think when it comes to, like, if you're making it, I mean, if it's real life, you have to. Like Call of Duty, you have to make that real because you want to make it like a real war zone. That's just how it is. But Apex is an imaginary world. You can make it realistic if you wanted to, but that's not the style that they went with. So I think when you're definitely like, okay, we want to make it like real war. Like, okay, you can't be like, I want real war and then make it cartoony. Like this doesn't work.
Yeah, sure. Do you have a preference when it comes to shooters? Do you find do you like one more than the other, or is it just kind of like whichever game's mechanics hits with you?
Yeah, it's the mechanics at that point.
Sure.
Like Apex hits with me a little bit, but I've always gone back to Battlefield and Call of Duty type stuff, which is 100% realistic. So I guess not 100%, but
as close as they can be. As close as they can be.
Yeah,
sure.
I came from PUBG. Like battle royale wise, I came from PUBG, which is going for realism above anything else. But then Apex took me, so.
Sure.
I guess it just depends. For me, it just depends.
Yeah, sure. Ben, what about you? Do you have a preference? As the resident artist on the podcast, I feel like you should have the most opinion on this, but I'm maybe
I have many.
applying to... Okay. I'll shut up.
I definitely go towards the fantastic. The game that was shut down that I didn't play very much because couldn't get anybody to play with me, that Gigantic.
Fuck yeah, dude. That game was
great. It was like a MOBA kind of team defense game. It's beautiful, hand drawn. Overwatch looks very similar, real bouncy animation and great characters and stuff like that. A lot of people probably turned away from Bleeding Edge because of its design. It looks outlandish and crazy,
Sure.
Like a grandma with a balloon is literally one of the characters, right?
Yeah.
And then everybody played it. Everybody went and played it, and I was like, oh, this is kind of hardcore. So Yeah, I definitely lean towards the crazier. It like typically, unless it's Battlefield, because Battlefield has hooked me for so long. Battlefield's one of the only like modern warfare games or warfare games that I'll play just regardless of the time period. I'll gripe and complain, but I'll play it anyway. But usually, if there's just it's another street conflict with another AK-47, another tank, I'm just like, cool. Did you guys stretch your imagination? You try real hard on this one, or you just go grab public domain assets and drop an Abrams into the game and go, look, we're done. You know, like that's how difficult. Anyway, it's very difficult. Game design is very difficult, but yeah, if the characters are crazy and it looks like an artist was in charge, I'm there for it. So
Sure.
But to contrast one of the other points you made, you said that it has to be a realistic game to look realistic. I challenge all of you, God of War. There's nothing realistic about God of War, and they tried as hard as possible to look like real people, real actors.
No, but he's saying that if you're basing the game off of realism, you have to make it real. Not that you can't have a fantasy world that looks realistic.
Yeah.
He was saying if you're making Farm Simulator, you can't have a cartoon tractor with a cartoon farmer.
Hold on, we've played Stardew Valley, so you can.
Yeah, but it's not a simulator. It's just
sim. Yeah, sure. Yeah, Sims have to be realistic. Fantasy games can be realistic,
except for the game Sims, which doesn't look realistic at all.
Exactly.
Sure.
That's a good point.
Sure, that's a good point. I think that you will run into times where that kind of crosses over the line, right? Like, not all games that are realistic and based in realism look realistic. I can't think of any other than Sims, right? That's based in some kind of reality that does not look, or it's not trying to look photoreal.
Right.
But yeah, you'll also find games that are made in fantasy worlds that look super realistic, like Witcher 3 or, like Ben said, God of War. Dentonstein in the chat says he thinks it's the most important idea is to establish a solid look and nail it. Yeah, probably. I can't think of any sports sim games though, and maybe that's where this topic crux is, right? I can't think of any sports sim games that have been stylized and been Sims, played out as Sims.
No, everything that's been non-photorealistic was very much intentional.
Yeah.
You know, NFL Street or Blitz, NBA Street, NBA whatever, you know, NBA Playground.
Yeah.
They are all like cartoony. These like it's either completely simulation they're going for or completely cartoon. Like
Mario Golf.
That's, you know, you're never going to put Mario Golf in the sports world. Like, you're just not going to include that.
Sure.
Now maybe Wii Tennis.
Is up there. Mario Tennis too.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can say that's a sport game. You know, tennis got to be a sports game.
They got supers though. That doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Sure.
I'm trying to think of it now though. That's gonna bug me for the rest of the episode. What do you guys think? So in this little showcase that Unreal Engine 5 had, they mentioned a lot about the line between video games and movies like blurring more and more and more, and like Mandalorian was probably brought up like 6 times.
Yeah.
Right. I wonder what you guys think is going to happen now that the world of video games and movies is even more intertwined. Like, are we going to finally get a video game movie that fucking works because it's built in a game engine? Or are we going to see movies that get licensed games that look more and more like the movies? You know what I mean? Like, what excites you about movies and games mixing more?
I feel like part of that conversation is going to take dissecting why don't video game movies work?
Yeah, because like my first thought was people don't like them. Like people don't like video game, like movie-based video games.
Yeah.
Some people like them, but for the most part, they're not huge successes.
Yeah.
The people I think who do like them probably didn't play the game very much. They go like, you know, like Caleb's mother loves the Tomb Raider movies with not the new ones either. They
with Angelina Jolie, sure.
Angelina Jolie, yeah. I mean, there are goofy little action movies, but us gamers wanted just a woman Indiana Jones, because that's what the first games were. Granted, dinosaurs came in eventually, and it got ridiculous. But like,
dinosaurs were in the first game.
I know.
You said eventually, like
Indiana Jones got crazy too. He was fighting voodoo priests and
Yeah.
aliens. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Um,
angels, straight up angels.
Dude, there's not an amount of disappointment that you can see on my face than when aliens came out in Indiana Jones. Like, I was so upset.
Wait,
Like, I was in the
why?
movie. I was just because I just didn't like it, dude. I don't know. I just, everything in my mind from the Indiana Jones universe does not say aliens. You're like,
Yeah.
It was
I just
always
didn't
like
like
the
it.
it was always like the occult or some dark magic or something.
Yeah, it's
right?
interesting to
Yeah.
me though. The tech didn't fuck with the sci-fi, but fucked with the religious storylines in Indiana
I did.
Jones.
I did.
Yeah, the dark magic was okay, but he's like aliens.
Because
No,
I
no,
can
thank
I
you.
can honestly believe more in dark magic today than in that universe. It's just in that universe.
Yeah,
Obviously,
sure.
right now, like in real life, I do believe in aliens. Different topic, but like I just Indiana Jones. And it felt bad. It felt forced. The whole story. I know this is off the topic for sure.
It's okay.
The whole story felt.
We're talking about
forced.
realism versus style, so let's go for it.
It wasn't Shia LaBeouf in that. Am I mixed?
Yeah,
am I,
Shia
he was
LaBeouf
great
was in the
in
last
that,
one. Yeah,
Yeah, no.
I thought he was great in that. See,
I think
again,
he's
we're gonna-
great overall.
I think he's.
I
Great
think
in
he is great
everything.
overall.
He's delivering exactly what they want him to deliver, which is a hyper energetic douchebag. So yeah, mission accomplished.
You know what? After watching a bunch of interviews recently of him, he's just widely misunderstood.
Yeah,
He's actually a really solid person.
Yeah.
I think.
yeah, for sure. And he's made like 2 or 3 projects in the last 2 or 3 years that have been like huge in like the festival circuit. People love them. They just don't have theatrical releases because he's like, I don't give a fuck about theatrical releases anymore. I was in Transformers, and I'm done with that shit.
Yeah.
Tech had an interesting thing that he brought up, and I don't know if you meant it to be brought up this way or understood this way, but you said you don't think that many game or movie based games have come out that people like, and I can't think of many. And that
Well, one that I particularly enjoyed is Detroit. When I think of like
oh,
video game that is basically a movie,
got you. Yeah. Okay.
you know.
Most of that studio's games feel like that, by the way. Tech. They've made other games. They all.
Yeah. And I have another one. I can't think of the name right now, but I haven't even played it. But I enjoyed that game, right?
Yeah.
And the whole time I'm like, dude, this is insane. This is a movie. I'm playing a movie. Like this video game is a movie.
Yeah.
But I don't think it went over very well.
Yeah, sure. Well, you've got like Bandersnatch on Netflix that ended up catching a lot of people's attention, but is kind of like you said, the same thing where you're basically playing an interactive movie. The way I heard it was movies or games based on movies, and I can't think of many licensed games.
Oh, they
based
They
on
don't do that anymore.
films. They haven't.
They don't
for a long
They don't
time.
do that anymore. There's like that was last generation and definitely before that. PlayStation, Nintendo 64. Yeah, crazy, right?
GoldenEye.
Crazy. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Um,
GoldenEye. There you go. There's a game based on a movie that people fucking loved.
GoldenEye. They had Charlie's Angels. They had
That game couldn't have been good.
all the every single James Bond movie had a James Bond game.
Enter the Matrix.
Mission
was-
Impossible.
Enter the Matrix was the shit.
Matrix had 2 games. They had The
Zombieland just
Matrix
had a game.
and The Path of Neo, which
I did not play Path of Neo. There was
Path of Neo
a
was fucking
Matrix
great.
Online too. That was an MMO.
There was.
That
Apparently
Apparently that
character.
game was fucking dope.
God,
I
what
did
else?
like the Matrix games though.
Enter the Matrix was
Yeah,
the
they
shit.
were fun.
I loved that.
And they had
game.
like the actors from the movie in the game.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Jada Pinkett Smith, man, fucking
And the
Niobe.
scenes were so static and stilted and awkward.
I've never even thought about playing a Matrix video game. Never crossed my universe.
It's the one fucking property in movies that would make perfect fucking sense to have games.
Yeah.
It's the one.
The Wachowskis used they wanted the movie to feel like a video game. That's pretty obvious, or a comic book. But
Yeah. There's a Batman Begins game. It was not good.
so yeah, they just don't do that anymore.
Did y'all
It's
play
funny
the Lord,
how
did y'all play
mad-
the Lord of the Rings games? On
Yeah.
PS2?
I played.
Those
are
games
so
fucking rocked.
good.
Those were made by the guys who
Yeah.
made Battlefront originally. Pandemic. Those games were dope.
Yeah, me and Bastard Bob used to
Bastard
play Two Towers at Game Crazy just forever, or at home. But because it felt like Gauntlet.
Yeah.
It felt like a revitalized Gauntlet with the Lord of the Rings stamp on it. So
Those Lord of the Rings
yeah, they
games
just don't do that
fucking
shit
ripped.
anymore.
Yeah.
They just don't make movie games anymore.
It's funny how many people are mad about the Avengers game not having the MCU actors in it.
Yeah.
It is.
Like that doesn't look like Thor. Like
Well, I can nitpick that because like the Avengers is a big team. It's been around for 60 years, 50 years, something like that, right? So why pick the exact same 4 people that are in the movie and then make them just close enough but not the same?
Right.
So
Like
you
they look like
you-
almost the actors.
Well, that's because the actors are supposed to almost look like the comic book characters.
But
So
why
what are
do
they
they
supposed to do? Like give an African American Thor or something, like to throw everyone off? Like they're gonna
Pick
get
different
a
characters. The Avengers is a huge ass team. Why pick the same 4?
Well, maybe
they're
there's
picking
more.
popular for.
Maybe there's more characters that we're gonna run into.
I'm sure
'cause
there
we,
are.
you know, you play
as Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel, right? Who's someone
Yeah.
no one's fucking recognized before. I think that Avengers game is gonna be fun. Fucking
Oh, I can't wait.
yeah, I think it's gonna be dope. People shot on that game so hardcore last summer, and I was like, guys, just wait, man. We have no idea what it's gonna look like. Squirrel Girl needs a game. I would fucking play a Squirrel Girl game for sure. So, what? I mean, a lot of people think that going photorealistic, like, do you think that true photorealism is capable? Do you think there will ever be a day where you turn on a game and go, wait, was that
Yeah.
live action or nah?
It's close.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right. What's the thing that throws you off that you catch every time?
Movements, more facial expressions seem a little stiffer.
Sure. Yeah. I remember reading
think
somewhere
that's-
that like skin is the most complicated thing to animate.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Which
I mean,
makes
because if you
sense.
think about it, your face has how many muscles been? Like, right? Like, you know that
Yeah.
your face has a lot of muscles.
Yeah.
And they're
30
all
plus,
working.
30 plus. Yeah.
Can you imagine
Yeah.
trying to animate, or like say you're doing just pure like motion graphic basic shit? Could you imagine moving something enough to make it
No.
look real like lifelike? It's
You have 43 muscles in your face.
Did you see that video that I shared with the channel? With the news?
Mhm.
That Andy Serkis video? That
That's
shit
insane.
caught me off guard. And that's 2 years old. That's a 2018 video.
so they were both computer generated, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was insane.
I'm gonna throw that video in the chat so people can check it out. If it's Andy Serkis reading Macbeth, and then they take his voice, his motion capture, and recreate his face, and also recreate an alien's face, and it makes me wonder why anybody uses anything but this. And I guess that's a question that like we need a more experienced game developer to answer. I bet it's because that shit's expensive and hard as fuck.
Well,
Mad
also
Max, Caleb.
you got
The Mad Max
deep
game
fakes.
fucking ripped. That game was dope. Sorry, go ahead, Tech. My bad.
Well, you have deep fakes, which is AI controlled algorithms that will recreate faces.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure in the future that's going to be heavily incorporated.
Like the Trump baby. Did you guys see that shit?
I have not seen the Trump baby.
Yeah, it's very funny.
It seems like I don't want to.
It's
Sounds
very funny.
dreadful.
It's a little kid denying that she did anything when mom's like, "Why'd you do that?" And the kid's like, "I don't know what you're talking about," but like using gibberish words, and then they supplanted Trump's face on it, and it's very funny.
Deep faked. Yeah.
All the deep fakes are fucking hilarious. Well, not all of them. There are
No,
some that are
no,
disturbing.
not all of them.
All the
There's a
ones
lot
that
that's
are
disturbing.
meant, there are all the ones that are meant for comedy tend to hit for me, but that's just because my brain's trying to figure out what the fuck is actually going on. I remember watching a video of what's the name of the dude from that Netflix show where he's an actor and a hitman, Barry, Bill Hader.
Hater.
There's one with Bill Hader where he's like doing an Arnold impersonation, and I didn't realize it was a deep fake video. So when he
Yeah.
went into his Arnold impersonation, my brain was like, "Did I do that? Did I make him look like Arnold, or is
That's
that
funny.
what's happening?"
Yeah.
You guys aware of the criminal aspect of deepfakes and how potentially that could be dangerous?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like that's insane. Like one day possibly
you could make
video may
anybody
not
say
be
anything.
admissible.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could put a video out that some world leader said some crazy shit. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and yeah, it's terrifying.
It's the end of the world because of video games. What? So I have a couple questions here for people specifically based on like what their favorites are. I don't know how much legs we'll get out of that, but I almost said how many legs because I don't know.
Yeah. No.
Things can grow legs,
Yeah, they can. They can.
metaphorically.
When it comes to photorealistic and stylized games, do you have games that you've played in either style that stick out to you? Like games that stick out because of their style and because of their realism.
I already mentioned all my recent favorites.
Yeah, God of War's definitely.
Oh my god.
God of War
I love
definitely.
Cuphead just the way it looks.
Ooh,
Cuphead, yeah, wow.
yeah, the style of that game is fucking.
I mean, that
bananas.
style is just
Oh, it's so good.
super remarkable.
They fucking hand drew every cell of
Yeah.
animation. The whole thing is hand drawn, which that's bananas.
Yeah.
Man, I slept on that game too. I played it for like an hour or two and was like, "This is hard." And
It's not an easy game.
No, it's
Yeah.
not. The game fucked me up. I was like, "All right." I mean, it was cool. I'll watch some
Yeah.
Let's Plays and shit. I got a puzzle of it right behind me. I'll build eventually, but that puzzle's hard too.
There's nothing easy.
It's a 1,000-piece puzzle that's like the size of a sheet of paper, like an 8.5 or 8.5 by 11. Yeah, but it's 1,000 pieces.
One of those puzzles without a straight edge on it.
Yeah, like no,
Fuck those ones.
It's a puzzle of a paint splatter, and I don't know where anything goes. Sarge, do you have any games that stick out because of their style that you liked? Maybe something that you didn't think you would like but got into?
I mean, wait, we doing stylized or photo real?
Either one.
Stylized.
Either one.
Oh,
Oh.
okay, sorry.
Okay, well, Forza then. I mean, all the Forza games have just gotten better and better over time, and Horizon 4 is just like
Yeah, the presentation's
I made
great.
I made my car in that game, and it just looks fucking flawless.
Yeah, sure.
I guess there's no difference between any. I mean, there's difference obviously, but I couldn't pick another racing game that's anywhere close
Sure.
to
Sure.
doing what they could physically do with that game. And like Forza has had like their ups and downs with it too. Like Motorsports 4 was great, and then they came out with Forza Horizon, the first one, and it looked like poop. And then they brought it back, and like I don't know, it's incredible how real that game can look and
Yeah.
everything. So,
Especially
yeah,
for an open world driving game.
right.
I'm always
like
oh shit, weird.
the scenery doesn't look phenomenal, obviously, because it's based on the cars itself.
Yeah, and you're
But,
going
I mean,
past it like
from-
hundreds of miles an hour, so fuck it.
Right. But like the amount of texture and detail that they have for something that is like second or third compared to what the game needs to be about is pretty incredible too.
Yeah, straight up, I remember hearing or knowing that game was in the UK, not knowing where in the UK, and then I drove into the little downtown area and realized it's fucking Edinburgh, Scotland. And I stopped on a street because I was like, I've fucking been here. And I was able to navigate my way up the hill and up into Edinburgh Castle and like find the front entrance based on memory, not having to like look at the map, because I was like, I've actually been here. That right there is the fucking Royal Edinburgh tattoo that I went into. Like, that shit's fucking crazy. So that's an interesting. I talked about this earlier this week. When games do real life cities, do you notice the differences in the real city, or do you just kind of like let it flow?
If I know the city and I know the street is supposed to be, it's immediately I can't. Like
Immediately
any New
throws
York,
you out? Yeah.
any New York City, since I know New York quite well, it just throws me off completely.
So
I do get happy to see the certain parks in the right place, certain buildings. I always, in every New York, I always look for the wrought iron building, the one that looks kind of like a triangle. But yeah, it throws me off immediately.
So did you play GTA 4?
Did I? Yes.
The one in Liberty City, New York, basically?
Yeah.
Did that game throw you off like that? Were you
Yeah,
like,
it wasn't-
nah, that's not New York?
From what I remember, it just didn't. It didn't. You know, it's cool, but it wasn't like super realistic. Like they didn't go through the.
Well, I mean, the new
each street.
Spider-Man is probably the most accurate we've ever gotten.
I think so too. It's pretty accurate. The
And-
Spider-Man's pretty accurate, but
Oh,
it's
it
still
is?
not
Okay.
accurate.
It's not, because I was going virtual sightseeing with Kim, and she was trying to find things that she recognized, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
So I did a little research, and they definitely moved some things around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they took a lot of liberties, but they like certain like landmarks. All the big landmarks are there,
Sure.
but I mean, there's
like,
also
like the Avengers Tower, shit like that.
Right.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't think you. I mean, you're not gonna be able to replicate New York. I don't think.
No, that city's way too fucking big. Can you imagine? Jesus. I
The
remember-
Division though, what is their
Oh, yeah.
relation to it?
Man, the
Good
Division is super scaled down, right? You're not like
Right,
flying
yeah,
around
you-
the whole city. You've got a pretty sizable map, but it's pretty limited compared to other games. That's a good question, honestly. I want to know, Tech, have you played the Division at all? One or two?
I played it one a bit, but not enough to have a strong opinion on the cityscape.
Sarge, there was a moment you and I both had in the first one where we were walking down the street in New York in one of the winter. I mean, the game was in the winter, but one of the DLCs that came out after. Excuse me. And we walked into Times Square. You remember that shit?
Yeah.
And we
the
just
first time we walked in, we're like,
stopped and we're
"Ooh."
like, oh fuck, because like it was huge. And most games I've noticed, like Spider-Man, even you land in Times Square and everything feels a little smaller than it should be. In Division, it was fucking massive. I feel like Ben's doing some research to find out how close the city in Division is. So while he's doing that, I have two memories tied to Watch Dogs. I was playing Watch Dogs 1 when my buddy Alex came in, and he was like, I was in that exact spot in Chicago. I don't know Chicago well enough to be able to point out differences. So that's a thing. But that city, when I would play it with people that were from Chicago, were like, go here. Oh shit, that's that. There's only a Wrigley Park, though. There's not a Wrigley Field. There is no U.S. Cellular. So South Chicago's just not there. Or if it is, it's super small. And then Watch Dogs 2, I was playing... Tech, we were talking about this the other day. I was playing with Andy, my other uncle. I was playing with one of his sons. But then Andy hopped on, and like he and I drove his commute to work from their house to where he rode his motorcycle. And he was like pointing things out before they came up, which is dope because like, I guess, you know, to someone who's super detail oriented, you'll notice the differences like you were saying, Tech, but he takes this route every day and he just pointed out, oh shit, that's just like the thing. And that's just like, so I think the levels of fidelity and how immersive it is might be different to different detail oriented people. Right.
Well, you Caleb, you're also saying one time that you were playing Assassin's Creed with your grandpa.
Oh fuck!
And
yeah,
I can't remember what game it was.
It was
he found his house in
England.
Where was that based
France.
in Versailles,
France.
in Versailles, in France. Yeah,
yeah.
That fucked me up. We looked for a while too, and then he was like, "Wait."
We started the palace, and he went, "Go down that street." Right.
Yeah, and then he was like, "Wait." And we were like,
"You've never played this. What do you mean?"
Yeah, and he was like, "Turn right." And I turned right, and he was like, "That window up there was my bedroom window." And I was like, "Oh, fuck." Oh,
yeah, that's tight.
That's insane, man.
That's super dope.
That fucking tripped me out, man. Oh, shit. I completely forgot about that. Yeah, that memory is awesome. And we also know that...
I'll never have that. I'm so upset. I live in some shitty-ass city. I'll never be like, oh yeah, go to Springfield. Let me go check that out.
Dude, we live in a more of a
take a left on Homewood.
We're never gonna have that either.
Yeah.
The one time where they put St. Louis in the movie, they spliced it with Nashville. What movie? There was a comedy a few years ago with.
Yeah, is that the Sandra Bullock one?
No, it was
Bad
the.
Grandpa?
No, it was the one with
McCarthy.
Jenny McCarthy?
No, the big
McCarthy.
girl, Melissa McCarthy. Yeah, I was gonna say her name is alliteration.
And Sandra Bullock.
Was she in it?
Yeah.
I thought it was the guy. Oh shit, it's gonna bother me until I figure it out.
Jason Statham? Is it the spy movie?
Jason something.
No.
Jason Bateman.
Jason Bateman?
Oh.
Is there a Melissa McCarthy Jason Bateman movie?
Yeah, I think there is.
Yeah, and they like one part of the story is they go because he was straight and narrow type guy, but she was like this horrible criminal. Yeah, and they came to St. Louis, but like the skyline was half of it was St. Louis, and then like south of Busch Stadium, yeah, it was Nashville or some shit.
Weird.
Yeah.
How do you? I guess when you live on the coast, you wouldn't know. Identity thief. All right.
Yep.
I guess if you live on the coast, you just wouldn't know. But that, I mean, I'm sure everyone from St. Louis is like, the fuck?
What is that?
Our city got an upgrade? Yeah, that's funny. I remember I was thinking of something and I lost it.
It's gone.
Someone else pick up the ball. Yeah.
Well, we want to pick out
I remember.
things
Hold on.
that attract... Okay.
I remember. A couple years ago when Notre Dame caught on fire, Ubisoft was able to share their render of Notre Dame so that they could rebuild it because their render was 1-to-1. Yeah. And like, that's fucking bananas. Like, they didn't have to look up well, I'm sure they'd still looked up blueprints. But imagine if those things had been lost, they still had a 1-to-1 reference they could have looked at that was built into a video game. Which,
that's pretty sick.
That's fucking bananas. I love that shit. That's awesome. That's awesome. Ben, you're about to say something. Sorry.
No, I just think as I'm hunting around these games I've played lately, you know, I could say that most of these I hunted down because of their style, but like no duh, right?
Sure.
Obviously,
Sure.
that's why anybody plays anything. So you've got, you know, you've got your opening gambit with the cover, right? So you got to relimit the cover image, then you got to relimit them screenshots or a trailer. So your style's got to grab them right away. You know, all the games I've played on my stream lately. Don't let me forget about Darksiders 2. That game is dripping with style. But all the games I've played lately on my stream were because of style. Any game I've ever played on my PC, on my channel, were all because of style. You had Strafe. I just played Jet Lancer today, which feels like a PlayStation or a you guys remember UN Squadron on Super Nintendo? It was like a side-scroller shooter, but it was with an F-14 and an A-10. It was like real jets.
No, I do not remember.
It was side-scrolling. You would like strafe the ground and stuff like that. So it played like Gradius or like a classic side-scroller space shooter, but it was all like real stuff. But it plays like that. But you use your mouse and your ship sort of just flies in whatever direction you want. But anyway, awesome style, very cool. So most of my purchasing decisions are because of style, and when it's lacking a little bit, I'm just sort of like, meh.
Yeah. One of the more realistic looking games that was also wildly unrealistic that I can think of immediately is Control. That game fucking looks incredible.
It does,
and part of it looking really good sells the shit that doesn't make logical sense, because half of that game feels like you're stuck in an MC Escher painting.
Motel looks picture perfect, and you walk through a door and you're like, well, I'm in another dimension.
Yep, what's happening? Yeah. I think that helps sell the realism and the style of that game, is because it looks so real. When it goes and does something wildly abstract, it throws you off. It's that like it's like the comedy structure, right? Of like setting you up for something and then subverting your expectations, except it's done visually. Where you're like,
Two games I'm both excited for because of the realism. One's already out. The Last of Us. Last of Us always has the photorealism going for it, and the Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima looks so fucking incredible because it looks realistic. And if that were just your typical, like, super stylized anime samurai game, I might just go...
Right? Yeah, sure.
But we get so few samurai games to treat things seriously, you know.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
Did you ever play Okami?
Oh, yeah. I'm doing a search for stylized games, and you can't scroll without Okami just everywhere.
Yeah, because that game was like
gotta
watercolor.
Be one of the most stylish games of all time.
Watercolor, paintbrush.
Yeah.
That whole game was fucking beautiful.
Sumi. That's the Japanese painting style.
Oh, I thought you were telling me to sue you because you liked it.
Take all my money.
Sue me. What? Fun fact, sue me. Apple couldn't make music with their devices initially because Apple was the name of the publisher of the Beatles. And when they tried to make music tones for their phones, the Beatles sued them. Apple sued them, the company that published the Beatles music. And so they couldn't make music for their ringtones. And so the first tone that they made, one of the engineers literally was like, fuck this, I'm making a ringtone. But saved it in the system as a Japanese word that he said was for tone. And the word was sosumi. But it was literally just him putting together the phrase sosumi because he was making music and saying fuck you to the publishing company.
That's funny.
And that tone was in Apple phones for like fucking years. And then Apple bought Apple Publishing and now has all the Beatles music.
Dude, I think the Beatles can't keep the publishing for shit.
Sure. Or they've just gotten to the point where they're like, fuck it, do whatever you want with it because we've made the money we want to make.
Well, you know the story about Michael Jackson buying the publishing from the Beatles right underneath Paul McCartney?
No.
You don't know about that?
Yeah, I've heard bits and pieces of it.
Yeah, they were friends and they were hanging out one day, and Paul McCartney mentioned that how much their publishing company cost or something like that. And the next day, Michael Jackson went around him and bought it.
What a good guy.
Yikes.
Oh no, it was shitty.
That's
Very
shitty
shitty.
as fuck.
Sounds like the kind of guy that would invite children to his house.
I don't. Well, yeah. No one. I don't ever want to talk online about how much I don't like Michael Jackson.
Yeah, this is the darkest timeline that we don't need to make it darker.
You're right.
We can avoid that. Man. So I have a hard time talking about stylized games and not wanting to bring up a game that Ben makes fun of me for bringing up every fucking time I bring it up.
Warframe?
Because you bring it up.
Oh wait, no, never mind.
Every
No.
episode.
You haven't brought up
Go on.
Warframe yet.
No.
Well, what about Warframe style brings you in? And I'll get to mine. Because you love
changes,
that
like,
game's style, but you didn't like Apex's style. You thought the characters were all the character designs sucked. I think those were your
I didn't think they
words once.
sucked.
No, you said that multiple times, Ben.
Yeah.
You-
Text
we
here
all-
now. You don't have. You don't have to.
There's
not
quite
say
a
it.
few of them that I like. There's alternate skins better, for sure.
Yeah, that's the
Some
point.
of them some of them it looks like they put on a glue suit and rolled around in a prop drawer and just went, I have stuff all over me now.
That's
So-
Mirage.
Right. And Caustic, and it's just and
Caustic has some amazing skins though.
He does, and the Hunter,
Bloodhound.
Bloodhound's
Bloodhound.
costume. He's got it's all over the place. Anyway, but
Warframe.
Warframe's unfair because it changes every 6 months to a year. The frames that are coming out now don't look like anything that came out last year. So it almost
Are they not in the same vein, the same stylistic choice?
Nah.
No.
Not
Maybe
at all.
I'll like the new frames. I don't like the way most of the frames look to me. They're too the only
Basic?
word I could think of was boingy. That's not right.
That's not
Like-
a word.
I don't know what to think of that.
They're very Evangelion to me. They're very
Yeah.
unnaturally thin and wiry with weird
Yeah, that's-
protrusions and nubs.
That's because they're big spoilers. They're infested. They're infested
Oh,
humans.
that literally means nothing to me.
They're zombie people. They're biomechanical zombie people. So they're supposed to look weird.
I don't like the. It's okay. Like with the Warframe frames,
Mhm.
it feels like it's supposed to be flowy, like the outfits,
Yeah.
but they're way too stiff, and I don't like it.
Yeah, I want
Does that
a
make sense?
character with a much more narrow profile if I'm supposed to be ninja-ing around. But I also don't get ninja vibes from that game very much. Despite the fact that it's about being a space ninja, everyone runs around and fucking shoots shit. And
Don't have
ninjas
to.
use swords and ninja stars and
You don't have to.
bows. And I got yelled at for using bows and swords because they were like, you got to do something else to make the game fun.
You
Which is
can't do the same
wild
thing
to
over
me.
and over again and enjoy yourself. That's for
Well,
sure.
then don't buy Ghost of Tsushima, Ben, because I guarantee you're going to be a ninja the whole fucking game.
No guns.
But the style. Now there are other elements of the game, like the environments, the main actors, the main set pieces, like your ship. All the main characters do have a style, and it's really fucking weird.
I
It's
hate the
David
Grineer.
Lynch weird.
I
It's
hate the
fucking
Grineer.
strange.
The Grineer are so
Yeah.
ugly and ugh.
Yeah.
Side note: is anyone, Caleb, your mic for me is going weird. Is that happening for anyone else?
No.
No.
Okay.
I don't know. I can make sure it's plugged in and shit, but
Maybe it's just me then.
maybe.
Yeah, well, Tech Yours was doing that for me last episode. Remember?
Yeah. Okay.
I was
Might
trying
be.
not to interrupt you because it would make your mic disappear, which isn't happening this time.
Yeah. Might be
No.
a Discord thing.
Maybe.
Probably is.
The
Yeah.
good news is we
Probably.
have Cast, and Cast
Yeah.
allows us to have local recordings, so it'll sound good when it comes out as a podcast. You can listen.
Sorry
to it.
about that.
No, you're good. You're good.
No, it's fine.
I feel like someone.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna mention Warframe just because it's all over the map, but it does have a cool style. But not for the Warframes.
What about
It's
so
everything
then
else.
which ones do you said everything else looks really weird, like David Lynch weird. What of the other things than frames do you like? I don't know.
Well,
It sounded
I said,
like
all the main characters, like the main antagonist, people call Space Mom. For the first most of the game, you thought she was like your benevolent, overseer. Turns out to be a villain. Spoilers. But now she used to be this just lady in a goofy hat that covered her eyes. now she's like inside of this big fucking giant alien thing that you can't even understand what you're looking at. It's so weird, you know. And she's like in the chest, and her hands are like this, and it's got these big long arms. It's got another set of arms in front. It's really weird looking. It's like a mixture of H.R. Giger and I guess Evangelion would be a good description, but like it's really strange. So but then there's multiple styles because there's multiple factions. Each faction's got their own look to it.
Sure.
So yeah, so very solid art team, and they've been at it for 7 years. So and it looks better every year, but they also give it facelifts every year. So, you know, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, sure. The game that I was going to bring up and then delayed bringing up to make Ben talk about Warframe, so I felt better about bringing this one up, is 13. I played that game. Came out in 2000. When did that game originally come out?
Literally made to look like a comic book.
Yeah, and based on a comic book, based on a French comic book. That game, fucking, I loved that game as a kid. It came out in 2004. Woof. 16 years ago. Woo, boy.
Still talking about it.
Fuck yeah,
You
dude.
know, I don't think I'm a big fan of the what do they call this, the style?
The cell shaded
Cell shaded?
comic book
Cell
style?
shading. I'm not really a big fan of cell shading games.
I'm not either, typically.
I don't
trying to
really
of
think-
a good example.
Yeah, I think I found one that I actually loved.
Well, Okami. Okami was something else.
Yeah, so I don't know. They look cool, you know, when you look at them, but I haven't really found one that I like the gameplay of.
Sure.
Borderlands was somewhat cell shaded.
Yeah, I never even played Borderland. Like I know a lot of people got into it recently, but
Yeah.
I've never.
Let me see what else. There was a single Prince of Persia game with cell shading.
Now that I see it, it's been a lot of cell shading
Prince of
games.
Persia, that Prince of Persia game was fucking dope. That Prince of Persia was the first
The
one.
08 one.
Yeah, that was the one that like you had boss fights and you could beat the boss in 1 minute if you knew. You could like trick bosses into killing themselves, or you could like figure out their weakness and just exploit it right away instead of like fighting them until you found it. That game's boss design is really, really fucking good, and I wish we got more Prince of Persia games. Ubisoft has like 3.
I forgot about those games.
Right? Ubisoft has like 3 properties that I want revived, and they're 13, fucking Prince of Persia and Splinter Cell. Fucking David Duchovny was the main character in 13, and Adam West was the bad guy. The cast is fucking dope.
Some of the Apex cutscenes were cell shaded.
Most of them are.
Yes. Yeah.
But the game's not.
No, I don't think so.
No, it's not. It's not.
Oh.
Their anime. What was I gonna say?
I have no idea.
Animatics? That's not a word. Their cinematics are.
That is a word actually.
Okay, cool. Their cinematics are completely different than the gameplay, which I'm fine with. Check. How do you feel about that though? You said you don't like cell shaded stuff, but I know you fuck with the Apex lore. So does that stuff not hit for you, or is it just gameplay?
Doesn't. I'm talking about the actual gameplay.
Okay.
Like I'm not talking about cinematics because, like I said, I like to look at like cell shading. Like it looks fun to look at, but I haven't found one that I've played that I enjoyed.
Sure.
Ryan, what's a style that when you see it you just immediately go, ugh? Anything?
Borderlands.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
There it is.
Just named it a fucking franchise.
Yeah,
Whatever you guys
tried
do.
playing that.
Don't like
yeah,
it.
no, thank you.
No me gusta.
Ass.
Ass.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, hard pass.
Hard ass.
Yeah, I don't. I don't know the technical terms for all this shit. You guys are just throwing things out left and right. I don't pay attention to as much as you guys do, but yeah, games like Borderlands. At first, I didn't like. Shit, that new game that came out. That
Bleeding Edge?
playing,
Borderlands 3.
Yeah. Bleeding Edge.
Borderlands 3?
Bleeding Edge. I didn't think I was going to like it. It looked kind of off to me, and then it kind of grew on me a little bit. But yeah, that's like right on the edge. Like Borderlands is the extreme, and then that's like right before I'm like, okay, I'm done. I can't do this.
All the Telltale
But
games are mostly cel shaded, or at least
Yeah,
or at least a close proximity to it.
they are for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh, there's screenshots of fucking 13 remake, and they look good. Anyway, sorry, I'll get off of that.
Keep dreaming.
Yeah, it got delayed.
I gotta say that most of the games, now that I think of it, a lot of my stuff is all real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Forza, Farm Sim, Call of Duty,
SnowRunner.
SnowRunner, like it's all as close to real as you can get. And I don't know if that's on purpose or not, but I mean they're also all simulators. So but I mean also I love Stardew Valley, and that kind of design I like dig that a lot.
Yeah.
16-bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess my game preference is like way the opposite way of your guys's, like for sure. Like the things that I would definitely play all the time is stuff that you guys barely touch. Except for
I'm the same way too. Like I'm as far as like, I mean I play NBA 2K and Madden every year. Pretty much minority here on that, I'm sure.
Yeah,
yeah.
I installed 2K the other day, and I like it a lot. But it's
That
also
doesn't count.
Yeah.
What about here?
I
Okay.
watched it on TV.
Here's the
Hey,
thing I think about-
everybody rejoin Cast real quick. My computer, I opened up a tab and it had a ton of fucking ads on it, and my Google Chrome just took a large heaping smelly shit.
As it does.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Gotta love it.
What do you? Oh, I guess I'll wait, since I might have a good answer. Maybe not.
Bane is back. Sorry, y'all. In the stream watching, that was an unfortunate thing, and that's my fault. I clicked on a thing to look at those fucking pictures. And then my computer was like, stop. Yes, 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 yes. Everybody back?
Check.
Okay.
Holler.
Here's the thing I think about a lot. Once upon a time, Japan made all of our games.
Yep.
Mostly.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, on a long enough timeline. And then America snuck in, and now I could probably show most people a game that feels very Japanese, and most people will just go, nah, hard pass.
Right? Oh, I don't fuck with JRPGs. I don't.
Devil May Cry?
I've never tried those games, but it hasn't been because I don't want to. It's just because I've never really gotten to them, and I've never really played games like it. Like God of War is the closest I got to old school DMC.
Sure.
Old school God of War is the closest I got to DMC style games. And I kind of stopped playing those when God of War stopped making them.
But like, when you think of a Japanese video game these days, with the exception of Nintendo games, which Nintendo makes games that feel like Nintendo games, Japanese games has a vibe. If we just watched that last Xbox preview, and every time a game came out it was from Japan, you're like, yeah, Japan made that. That one that was Cyberpunk, but they had like flower people or whatever.
Yeah.
The kid with a big sword, obviously.
I said
right.
obviously.
So like Japanese games have a look to them, and I think just that alone repels people for some interesting reason.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a style. It's a style, and styles.
Code Vein.
Yeah,
right?
it's a style though, and like styles do have detractors and people who love them. That's why anime's got a really big following, but it's a really hard line division between people who like it and people who don't. Right? There's not really people that are like anime's okay, except for like maybe me, who's seen like the Shinichiro Watanabe shit, and that's it.
Right.
I've seen Bebop and Samurai Champloo.
Right. Again, all Watanabe.
Yeah. I only have 3 people in cast. Who didn't rejoin?
That looks like they're all there to me.
Yeah, they're all here.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
I only see 3 people as well.
All right. Well, we'll see. I fucked that up this time because I clicked on a link full of pictures. Someday my computer will have a faster processor and it'll be fine.
Right.
Okay. Well, do we have any other style versus realism top points, conversations that we want to have?
Games that you wish would be different, that went realism when you wish it didn't, or wish stylized when you wish it didn't.
I wish Anthem would have been fucking great because that design was amazing.
Yeah.
Sure.
I love the way Anthem looked. Like if we had an Iron Man game, I wouldn't want it to be like cartoonish. I definitely want it to be like exactly like Anthem. Like I feel like that's a really good like mix between the two.
That's an interesting
in my
question.
opinion.
A few episodes ago with Odin, I think we were playing
Stardew Valley.
Sea of
Stardew?
Thieves. No, further back. We were playing something. Red Dead. We were talking about our dream games. Remember?
Oh yeah.
That's our dream games episode. If do you guys have a dream game, like a game that you always wish existed that doesn't, and if you do, is it stylized or realistic?
You know what's funny is I saw a tweet, or maybe it was in a Facebook group for nerds, and this was the question, and it had so many comments and some really good ones. And my first immediate thought was my perfect video game would be Apex Legends with the Marvel Universe. Like that would just, to me, that would just be, I would never play anything else.
And would you want it to look like Marvel vs. Capcom, or you want it to look movie
I want it to look like
quality?
Apex. I want it to look like Apex Legends. Like I want to have everything with Apex Legends, just with Marvel characters and
Yeah.
Marvel abilities. Like everyone has their own ability, and it has to be huge, like 50 characters.
Yeah.
What about characters that can run fast and fly? Doesn't that sort of? And
Yeah,
then you got Hawkeye running around like.
I want
Flash.
that too.
Yeah,
Right.
Hawkeye's super could be like the next 6 shots he takes, he doesn't miss. Or you
Oh,
could
yeah.
block on a person and then like back around the corner and fucking shoot around the corner at him or some shit.
Yep.
Iron Man would
Wanted
have to
to
have that chest
fucking-
laser that's like a one-hit kill. It just saws people in half, but it like powers his suit down for 30 seconds or something after that.
I mean, they'd have to take their time with making it balanced, because that's like the one about going to be like super hard game to balance.
Yeah.
But that shit would be fun as fuck.
Fuck yeah, dude. I'm super down for that. I love that. See, mine sucks because it's a thing that I think is going to come eventually. But I want a present-day Assassin's Creed. And I want a present-day Assassin's Creed that feels as immersive as, like, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood did, where you had a whole city, you were building a small, like, community. Like, imagine an Assassin's Creed where you play, like, an assassin from Harlem and you're, like, rebuilding your neighborhood and building up an Assassin Brotherhood through there. And like going out in New York and taking out like Templars and shit that are embedded in like the government and the police and the like, just doing all that, because Assassin's Creed's all about taking down people that want to control everybody. But it would have to be realistic to me.
Hmm.
Honestly, my dream game is an Assassin's Creed that takes place in Berlin during the time of the Berlin Wall. This is a game that takes place over 60 years where you play somebody with family on both sides of the Berlin Wall and you're trying to take down the Soviet Union.
I would dig that.
It'd be fucking dope. Fighting the
I
Soviet
would
Union,
dig
like
that.
teaming up with the Soviet Union and teaming up with the Allied powers, trying to like get the best out of both. And like being the reason the Berlin Wall fell, because I kind of studied that in college, and like to this day we don't know why it actually fell. It was a huge fucking mistake. That's I would fuck with that game so hard. You can imagine like escorting people through the checkpoints and through the border, the Berlin Wall, like trying
Sounds
to get
very
past.
stressful.
Yeah, dude, it'd be fucking
Sounds so
dope.
stressful.
It'd be fucking dope. But Ryan and I have a
You
long
guys
history of
do
playing
like stressful
Assassin's Creed
games,
together
so-
and playing stressful games together. So
Yeah, you guys like that shit.
yeah, you're like the only one that doesn't like stressful shit anymore.
I'm the oldest guy here, so.
We're not old men, so moving on.
Ryan, what's your dream game, and is it realistic or stylized?
Oh, I don't even know, dude. Pass right now.
All right, you got
Well,
one more person.
I've
that can go.
I've never thought about it. Honestly, I've just never.
Yeah,
I just play what pops up.
sure. Ben, what you
Well,
got?
I mentioned my mech game. I do think about it all the time. I would love a game that's co-op, of course, and you're just you're doing missions with your buddies and your robots. You can get out of your robots and fix them, or go on foot and shoot, like a regular FPS. But I want big, giant, fucking walking tanks that you can climb around, like like Uncharted
So
style.
Titanfall
Like, just
2 was
grab-
almost your shit.
slow it down. Slow it down. I need more Mech Warrior style. Somewhere
Oh, okay.
between Mech Warrior and Titanfall. But like I want you to be able to climb on them like Uncharted. You just grab a handhold and you can scale them, you know?
Yeah.
Or like Shadow of the Colossus, right? But you have to like fix things. You
Yeah.
know? Like
Prove it
in
out.
Outer Wilds, when your ship broke, you had to go outside and fix it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And I think the style would actually be a mixture. I would like it to, sort of like Beyond Good and Evil 2, which isn't out yet, but we've had a lot of trailers for it. It's hyper stylized, but ultra high quality.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so stylized like Overwatch, but photo rich like Uncharted or Last of Us. You know.
Yeah. Sure. That's
Just
that's the
give
Sea of Thieves aesthetic, right? When you're out on the fucking water and it's
The
fucking
water was really the only thing.
perfect.
That was,
Some of the environments in 4K are ridiculous. Some of the islands and how much greenery there is and the shadows
that's
and
an
shit.
That's an Overwatch aesthetic, though.
Yeah.
If I had to pinpoint.
You did
that.
say Overwatch, but photo rich.
Yeah, so more like. I'm trying to think of a game that's actually out, because Beyond Good and Evil is a great example. Yeah, I can't think.
13.
Of anything,
Just kidding.
but, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Sarge, you had your pass. It's now your time.
No, I think mine would be a mixture of Forza and SnowRunner, all in the same universe of like car community things, or like I guess that
Yeah,
That
that
scene-
aesthetic, yeah.
of like, you know, you've got like the guys that want to have mud trucks and stuff like that, but you can just do it all at once.
Yeah.
And like if you want to, like people do car meetups on Forza, but like you can't get out of your car, you can't
Right.
walk around the vehicles and look at stuff. Like I feel like if they actually made that real in a video game, it would be so much. I feel like it would add so much more to the games.
Yeah,
Don't
sure.
let him jump.
Don't
Don't let him. Don't give a
don't
jump.
yeah
button.
yeah no
So
yeah
people
I don't
actually
need
just walk
guys
around the car
jumping
show.
on my get off my car. Like no, mom. But
give
no,
your
like
character a
I feel
taser.
like that would be, like I feel like that'd be really cool. Like I go to these places sometimes and go see bands or whatnot, and there's like mud trucks in the background hitting these huge mud pits and shit like that. Like
Yeah.
why is that not cool? Like why is it not a party in the game of where you can have, you know, everybody hanging out, all your friends showing up. You can be like, oh, hey, man, we got a car meet at 4:00.
Yeah.
Like, go do what you can.
Why?
You know,
maybe this is next week, but why aren't games more social like that?
yeah.
Why don't games let you do shit like get out of your car, high five each other, emotes? Like Destiny has hundreds of emotes now where you actually get to hug people and interact and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's not.
Forza gave us a character that you can't do anything with other than put clothes on, and you see it in the
I
fucking
hate
load
it.
screen.
I
You
hate
see him
it.
doing the worm in between load screens.
And it's built
Right.
on a festival where people are congregated, and you should be able to have
You should be able to go to a
drift car
music
show.
venue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Fortnite.
You go to-
we
We
talked
should be
about
able to
this.
like
Yeah.
mingle and
Sit-
like
or
get
sit in
sponsors
the
and talk to
stands.
people. Yeah.
You
Can
guys
you-
are wanting a lot of social in your games. I see.
Yeah, I think that might
Tech,
be a whole
we've been
episode.
locked at home for so long.
Yeah, can we just go to a bar in the game and
That's
just
all we
sit there for
have.
hours?
Can we just go to a bar and
I
like
will-
try and
I'll
pick up
drive
chicks and
around
I'll
for
say
10
no?
minutes and go back home.
That's funny. Maybe this quarantine, you know, the United States isn't treating it very seriously, but the rest of the game design community around the world might take this seriously and actually start designing more social games because of it. Maybe this will be the catalyst, right?
Maybe.
Give people some ideas.
I just don't want like a World of Warcraft socialization where it's just like a global chat popped up in the bottom
Yeah.
left hand corner of people
Yeah.
talking obnoxious and like
No,
some little
yeah.
kid just running and screaming around.
You know,
Yeah,
you
that-
know for a fact the minute they
That's
have
exactly
a
what
social
it is.
world in a game, it's going to get toxic
Over
really
with.
fast.
No, I
Fucking
want.
troll
I
this
want to
shit.
be
You
able
watch
to.
VR chat?
Oh,
Have you
dude,
watched VR chat footage? It's
Yes.
a nightmare.
it's the weirdest shit in the
I'm
world.
good, dude. This
Dude,
sounds like a nightmare.
look it up.
No,
It's
don't
so
don't
weird.
look it up. It's offensive
Dog,
and awful.
You've got to. You've
It's
got
bad.
to.
Don't
It's
do it.
offensive and awful.
It's so bad.
JonTron opens a video. One of his videos is about the VR troopers, that old show from the 90s. But he opens up in VR chat, and he's looking down, and there's like Piglet from Winnie the Pooh. And the guy, some grown-ass man playing Piglet, goes like, "Do you want to touch my ears with your dirty hands?" or something like that. And it's just like,
Yeah, nope.
what's happening?
No, I don't want
And
that.
then he's like,
Ben,
"We
you
want to go
fucking
kill
weird.
ourselves together," and they like go jump off. It's like, And like some lady walks by with tank legs, and yeah, it's
with tank legs. What does that mean?
Yeah, no, she's got like a tank. She's got like a tank for a lower torso.
Yeah, I'm good, dude.
No, what I want is what Fortnite did a couple weeks ago with that Travis Scott concert. I want Forza to have concerts once every 3 months or whatever, and then like small shows in between where you can grab your cars and drive up and like watch a show and hang out with your friends and do like donuts and shit while bopping to some dope ass. The game already does that. Put a fake ass band on stage and a light show that I can just drive around in and hang out with my friends. Make a little private lobby and hang out. I don't want to get in a public lobby with a bunch of, do you want to touch my ears with your dirty hand? I don't want that shit. That's fucking weird. That's weird. I don't want that.
I think.
Can you do that one more time? Can you just say that one more time for me?
Are you going to clip it?
Yeah, I want to so bad.
All right, hold on. Everyone quiet.
Yeah, hang on. I want to...
Sarge's going to do it too. Are we ready?
Nope. Hang on.
Ben, while we're doing this, find a fun fact.
Okay.
You want to touch my ears with your dirty hand?
Hang on.
Come on, bastard. And go.
Ben, type quieter. Do you want to touch my ears with your dirty hands?
I'm not sure that worked on my Go XLR.
All right, well, that's all you're getting.
I have to
So.
reroute it. I'm going to find a way to get that, and I'm going to put that on a button for sure.
Okay, that's perfect.
Oh, yeah. That shit worked.
Why can't you walk through the auto show floor, Dentonstein asks. That's a very good question that we do not have the answer to. But while we're trying to find the answer to other questions, Ben is going to give us an answer to a question we didn't even know we had. What?
Go to a goddamn dealership in Forza and be like, dude, I want that.
And get a sleazy salesman and everything.
And just like, yeah, you can choose your dealership. You're like, I want the cheap cars. And it's just like some fucking used.
Some dude
used
slapping the
lot.
top of a car like, you could put so much fucking spaghetti in this bitch.
I want a video game credit system so people get denied. you gotta get a worse car.
If you gotta get a loan for it, you can't afford it.
your payments are through the roof now, so you're not making much money from races. Like I want to be. Your wife
payments are through the roof, but I got a son.
Your wife left
leaves you. You got behind on the house payment, so your wife left.
She has to co-sign. She actually has to get on Xbox 2. She has to show up. You have to have your wife show up to sign the papers.
With another player's good credit score.
Let's get all the way real.
You're in deep debt, right? And you let the game go for a minute, and then you come back to it like 3 months later when new DLC comes out, and you start the game up, and your guy's like sleeping on the side of the road.
His car's full of boxes.
He's sleeping in the car.
So while we're fucking wilding out,
they need to make a game called The Real World, and like literally, it's like the situations like that. Like it's just honestly, it's just like Roy, but just dark.
I would pay double for it.
While we've been going wild, Ben's been finding us a fun fact, because every show we have one quick fun fact before we wrap up, and it's called our Smurf Fact. I'm going to play the jingle right now, hoping that Ben has found something. Here it is for you. It's called our Smurf Fact.
Smurf Facts, oh yeah.
Flicked my mic boom when I did that.
You can send that clip to any one of us and we can play it on the air.
Yeah, yeah, I could. I'll do that after the episode.
Because I can't do that.
It also took him like 6 years to put it on his
yes.
Ben, what's your Smurf
on his
fact?
computer anyway. So
yeah, I was doing it for my phone for a minute. Fuck off.
Pinky out, dude. You got to do it again. Pinky out.
Blue whales may be the largest animals on the planet, but they aren't the largest living organism. The Pando Aspen Grove is made up of 47,000 identical quaking trees that cover 106 acres of Fish Lake National Forest in Utah. The Aspen Grove is connected by a single shared root system that has been around for thousands of years. Unfortunately, Pando has been shrinking for decades due largely to human intervention and animal grazing. But 47,000 identical aspen trees, all connected by a single shared root system, making up the largest living organism on our planet.
That's some Avatar shit.
They said when the wind blows, the ground moves. That's why they call it quaking. So the ground actually ripples because of all the roots moving underneath with the wind. So it looks like the floor is like liquid.
We're not the first intelligent species on this planet. It was something else first.
The whole identical tree thing is interesting to me. That's probably not true at all. But anyway, same
well,
species,
identical,
right?
probably same in makeup, right? Because if they're the same root system, they're all the same DNA.
Right. Same species. But 47,000 trees, all one root system. Pretty cool.
Maybe it's just one tree with 47,000 trunks. It's got to be. It's just one tree with 47,000 trunks.
Well, yeah. If you put a plant in a pot, that's a plant, right? Doesn't matter how many things are coming out of it. It's one plant, right? Yeah.
Yeah. That's fucking
As long
bananas.
as it's all the same. Right.
That's fucking bananas. Well, when we wrap up start that over. When we wrap up the show, we generally share what we've been getting up to, but we did just have a Bounties episode last week, and I don't think anybody's gotten into anything new this week. Sarge and I got back into Forza. You'll notice that on the stream. Ben was giving... what's that runner game called?
Ghost Runner.
Ben played Ghost Runner and some Jet... What was it?
Jet Lancer.
Jet Lancer.
I actually bought Jet Lancer. Came out today. It was $15. I bought that shit. It's awesome.
Bought that shit. Tech has been getting into Apex Season 5, which came out 2 days ago, and liking it.
I haven't played that much actually. Oddly enough,
we got our first W yesterday though. We did
get our first dub yesterday, and I did make a YouTube video about it, and it is on YouTube.
It is.
It is. And today, Ben challenged me to play a game, and I played it for about 40 minutes with Aaron behind me, and I was
stream it.
I did stream it. It was a very last minute stream, but I did clip it. I still have the I'm gonna upload the footage of it, and you will see my face go through a lot of different emotions.
Amazing.
What game did you play?
Burn it. Kill it with fire.
Kill it with fire.
Oh no! You got him to play a game about killing spiders?
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, I already saw the game, so I knew what I was up against.
Yeah.
But did you know though? How'd you deal with it?
Well, I watched Homemaker. Now, dude, I'm not okay. Like when I came down the stairs to come down to record this, I was literally thinking about spiders. Like I've been thinking about spiders all night.
Yikes!
So I don't like it, but it was fun. I definitely screamed a lot.
Sure. I'm sorry. That sounds awful.
Yeah, it is pretty bad.
I'll watch the video. I will not play it.
You know what? It's really is fun though. What makes it fun is the sound.
Yeah.
What makes it fun is the sound.
Is
what
it
makes
like
it scary
creepy
is the
sounds?
sound.
Yeah, fuck
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
Nope, I'm
Yep.
done.
It's not like Dead by Daylight creepy, right? It's just really simple like keys and notes.
Skittering
but
and ticketing and
the sounds, the spiders sound like mice, but it's
they squeak.
They squeak, but it's terrifying. And then like sometimes you like look, because you're looking for them. You'll look and you see like little spider legs behind a book, and this is going like this, and then like as soon as they like start running out, the music ramps up, and it's a frenzy. Like you're frenzied. Everyone should try it. It's free. It's on Steam. It's fun. It's fun.
I don't want to fucking... I'm going to drop a book on my computer. That's it. That sounds awful. I mean, I guess different strokes, different folks, but like, fuck.
It's something that I wouldn't... I mean, I'm going to take it off my computer soon, but, you know, like, it's fun. It's not bad.
Sure. I played Resident Evil 7 in a VR headset for literally 3 minutes and 37 seconds.
Dude,
I couldn't do it.
That's longer than I would have lasted.
No,
So
I can't play that game in VR. Fuck no.
I only lasted that long because I stood outside of a door that they very clearly wanted me to open and was like, I'm not gonna do this, and stood there for like.
I can
60
hear
seconds.
it over there.
Like,
no.
I'm not going through. And then someone was like, just fucking do it. It'll be fine. Open the door, jump scare. I was like, nope. Nope. Headset, headphones, gone. I don't need this in my life at all. Yeah, no.
I don't blame you for that at all.
I'd like to read one extra fact.
Oh, shit. All right. One extra fact for Smurf Fact Part 2, I guess. Go for it.
Smurf facts.
The original Beauty and the Beast was a story from 1740 by, I'm going to try to read the French name, French novelist Gabrielle Suzanne Barbeau de Villeneuve. There you go. In which the beast was a hideous combination of an elephant and a fish. According to the children's literature, the tale was written in order to encourage girls to accept arranged marriages. For an alliance, quote, for an alliance that required effacing their own desires and submitting to the will of a monster.
Oh my God. Disney for the win.
Yeah.
So it's been years since I've seen Snow White, but apparently she dies at the end. Have you guys looked into that?
No. No
Oh
idea.
yeah. So Google Snow White dies at the end, and there's
Was it when
damning.
she takes a bite of the apple and she's just dead the rest of the movie?
Yeah, she's just dead the rest of the movie, and like this is her afterlife. So like when they walking, like when her and the prince are walking towards the castle's in the clouds.
Nah.
Damn.
But I haven't seen it. Like
Have you guys read
like
the original Cinderella?
No.
Because when in the Disney movie, when the
Dude, just fuck
stepsisters
Disney, but
when
like
the steps-
basically, like,
Yeah.
it's fucked
when
up.
the stepsisters try to put on the slipper and it doesn't work. You know what I'm talking about? Their feet are all
Yeah.
too big and they can't fit in the glass slippers. In the original, the sisters fucking cut off their toes to fit in the shoe.
that's hard.
Like they start
Oh,
chopping
yeah,
their
dude,
toes
it's-
off to get it to fit. And
Just
like
to
it,
impress.
yeah, dude.
Hey, that got to be a banging shoe. Like
Yeah, those stories are messed up, man. Those stories are messed up. Well, to end everything on a high note, shit, man. This has been the 92nd episode of the show that was only about video games the whole time. That's it.
92nd.
Yeah, episode 92.
I know. I'm just fucking with you.
Fucking asshole.
It's like this has been 90 minutes, bro. I'm just kidding.
This has been the 90-minute no. The episode 92 of Bounty Board is coming to an end. If you want to support us at Nerdy Bits, who make these shows, Bounty Board, the Nerdy Bits Show, Proc Gens, Family Quest, all the things we do, all the streams we make, you can actually go to Nerdy Bits or patreon.com/nerdybits and support us. Shout outs to Christopher, our first patron. You can also buy merch from us if you go to nerdybits.threadless.com. If you want to support the things we write, record, or publish in terms of videos or podcasts or articles, you can go to nerdybits.com and follow nerdybits at nerdy_bits on Twitter. If you want to follow me, the handle's right above me. If you're listening to this later, it is at Lubwub everywhere it's important. Ryan, where can people find you, and what is your stream schedule like?
Sergeant Sodium everywhere almost, and the schedule's up in the air right now because I have a new job, so currently in the works. So
Dope.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned for updates. Tech Supreme, where can people find you, and what's your stream schedule going to be looking like as it shapes up?
you can find me on Twitch at Tech Supreme, and the stream schedule is being worked out, but it is definitely looking at daily, definitely evenings. But we're just trying to narrow it down to what's going to be the best.
Sure. Sarge just aggressive listening, listening like Dwight Schrute.
How many women have you killed? And please, sure, will you not kill me?
Ben, where can people find you?
Sketch Sawyer everywhere. SketchSawyer.com.
Are we going to see you come back at the art stream?
Yeah, I've streamed Monday and Wednesday this week with great results. And I will be doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday from noon to 3 for the foreseeable future. At least till school starts. I don't know what's going to happen.
Sure.
I have a book. My Kickstarter is going to be done in 6 hours. I'm going to have a book to make. So I don't know what that plus school is going to feel like in a few months, but I'll probably be mostly done with the book by then, to be honest.
Sure.
So.
And we will be back with the stream for this channel tomorrow afternoon because PlayStation's State of Play is going to be doing an 18-minute gameplay video of Ghost of Tsushima. Why'd you laugh at that?
Oh, sorry. My brain went to like an 18-minute like show, you know, like
No, they're
live
gonna,
stream.
they're gonna show.
We're
like
gonna show everything we got in 18
We're
minutes.
going live for 5 minutes. Don't miss it.
I guess the news or the rumor is that there's going to be 18 minutes of gameplay from Ghost of Tsushima tomorrow. So
Amazing.
That's tomorrow evening. Evening. It's like 1 Pacific, so like 3 p.m. We'll be on for that.
Evening.
And then we do not have Nerdy Bits show this week. That will be next week. So we'll probably stay on the stream after the PlayStation show and get into some shenanigans. You know, we get into some shenanigans. Yeah, but that's it for the show for this week. Wow, Tech, don't laugh at me. Shenanigans was funny. You've been saying silly goose all week. I need you to calm down on shenanigans.
I love silly goose.
It's funny as fuck. I love it. It's a silly goose time every time
it's a silly goose time, dude. And you know what? If someone says a silly goose time, you know exactly what the fuck they mean. Like, it's a silly goose time, dude.
Yeah, for sure. It's that silly goose time. Well, shit. Thank you for listening and watching, everybody who's been here. We will be on to play games right after this. And we will catch you next week for another episode. If you haven't, you should. These things are fun, and fun is good. And the best fun to have is a silly goose time.
I like it. I like it.
They're getting there.
Take it easy, everybody.
All right.
Bye. You want to touch my ear with your dirty hand?
I hate it.
Rethinking.